Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker, and a very special ceremony taking place on Saturday, honoring and recognizing Stew Morrill for all of his years of success at Utah State as the men's basketball coach for many, many years. And something we're trying to do this week is catch up with a variety of different players who played under Stew in different eras of the Stew Morrill time at USU.
That's how you know you've been a coach for a long time, is when you have different eras of your own coaching tenure.
That's true. That's true. There's the Big West era, the WAC era, the Mountain West era. But one of the OGs who was with Stew Morrill in the very early days, Bernard Rock, joins us now here in the Full Court Press. Bernard, thanks for your time today.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. How you guys doing today?
Hey, we're doing great. So you played under Stew Morrill just at the turn of the century, 99 to 2000, and then 2000 to 2001, Stew's early tenure. And that was just as things started to get going and people started to realize there's something very special going on here with this coach.
Yeah, that was the beginning of Stew Morrill. I actually came, I was his second year when Stew Morrill got there. And the year that I got there, it was interesting. We had 8 new players, and like I listened to Darrell Peterson yesterday, and like you said, Coach Morrill was big on getting JUCO players, and just having 8 new players coming into the system. You have no idea what was going to happen.
So, I want to ask about your first impression of meeting Stew Morrill and just kind of what it was like for you first being under Stew Morrill and being coached by him.
My first impression of Stew Morrill was, how big he was, number one. His hands was freaking humongous. Like, when I used to give my handshake, his hands swallowed my hands. But like I said, as big as he is, and I just said, he doesn't smile much. You may think he's mean, but he's really just a big guy that's just so gentle. Like, he really is. That was my first impression. It was like, and me being such, a hard-headed New York kid, it was kind of, kind of interesting.
That's awesome. Hey, so you were part of the team that really the only Aggie team in a very long time in the modern era to break through and get a win in the NCAA tournament. What was that experience like? This is, again, Stew Morrill hadn't been there very long, but you guys had something very special going back then.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, just having 8 new players, you have no idea what was happening. And very early on, we had a bunch of alphas. You had a bunch of guys that, wanted the ball. You had a bunch of guys that wanted to dominate. But if you guys know and understand, Coach Morrill had a system. And if you couldn't play by that system, you wasn't going to get no run. So very early on, at the beginning stages, we were trying to fill each other out. So we knew he was good. We knew we had players that can play, but we just didn't know how to put it together. And then, the first few games, we went to the Maui Classic. We did really well. We should have won. We lost one game. We ended up going 2 out of 1, so it's not very bad. So after that happened is when the season came in. And then when regular season came around, I don't know what happened. We just all of a sudden just clicked and went on, as you guys know, a 19-0 winning streak until our very first NCAA tournament, and we ended up losing to UConn, which was kind of sad. But we got to go back another year, and we all made a promise because we had the same core coming back minus one player. We knew that we was going to get there again, and if we got there again, we was going to do something different this time around. And sure enough, we got there again, and we actually got a win over Ohio State, which was amazing. So, and then lost in the second round of UCLA, kind of dampened everything else after that.
Was there anything different about that 2001 squad that got the win? Because obviously Stew went to the tournament plenty of times, but that was the one. Was there anything different about your guys' team, maybe the team or the matchup, where you guys were able to break through, but a lot of other great Aggie teams weren't quite able to break through and get that, at least one victory in the NCAA tournament.
And nobody else since.
Well, I'm going to be real humble right now, at the same time as being kind of, conceited at the same time. I could say that, to be honest, a lot of those teams didn't have me on it. They didn't have my teammates on there. So, I understand, you have a group of guys that come in after us, but if you don't have the same group of guys that had the same tenacity and the same grit and grind as we did, then you ain't going to get the same results. So I understand, Coach Morrill, because it's just a system. And when you play in a system, it's like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. You can almost put almost anybody in a system, and they're going to do very well. So it's kind of the same thing. So, but it's just a matter of the pieces and the players that you have in that system is going to determine the result of how you're going to end up winning. And like I said, it's humble at the same time as being a little cocky. But like I said, I understand who we were at that time.
Well, yeah, at the time, the Stew Morrill and what he was doing at USU was still relatively unknown. But you guys definitely put him on the map and the team on the map. And once again, we're talking to Bernard Rock, one of the great basketball players at Utah State, point guard. And you were a great shooter as well. If I'm not mistaken, you had a couple of games where you hit a bunch of threes to help this team during that hot streak that you guys had.
Hey, I'm gonna humbly laugh at that, and I'm gonna tell you thank you so much for even saying that about me. But jump shot. Nah, that's downtown Tony Brown for you. That's downtown Tony Brown, and that's my good brother, Sebo, Curtis Bob. Those were the shooters. I was the floor general. I was the leader of the pack. I was Coach Morrill on the floor. I knew where everybody was going to be at. I just knew the whole, like Darrell said yesterday, I knew the whole playbook. I was just the floor leader out there, and I made sure everybody was where they at, and made sure I needed to do what I needed to do to make sure we was going to win.
Don't sell yourself short. You had a couple of games where you hit, you were hot, you were on fire.
Well, to be honest, when I'm on fire, yes, I'm on fire. I can't hit a few in a row when I get the hot streak, and that's when I become a very dangerous player, because now you got to play me up and close. Because a lot of people like to play off me because I was so quicker than everybody. But when I hit a couple of jump shots, now you got to play off with me, and that's when I can kind of, I got a little more of an advantage over you after that.
So now you talked about, obviously how you ran the offense. Obviously you had to be, you had to know Stew Morrill's system. Just tell us about how, different Stew Morrill's system is from maybe other, systems of basketball that you've seen, just throughout the basketball world. Like, just how different was Stew Morrill's, offense and defense from maybe everyone else?
Okay, first of all, like I said, it's a system. And when you run a system, nobody wants to guard you. Because, like I said, we had a play. Like, I literally had to throw the ball to one of the guards that came out to the wing, and I literally had to run around almost the whole court to come all the way back up the top just to get the ball, then start to play. So it was a lot of running around that a lot of teams did not want to do, because especially if you came up to Logan, you were out of shape, number one, because of the whole, the atmosphere, the air. So, and then when you got to chase a player like me around, you get tired, and then, like I said, I'm quicker than everybody, so it just made it a lot more difficult for you to even handle the play number one. Like I said, we had cards, so you didn't know which plays we wanted, because we had two different cards up at any given time, so you didn't know which play was coming at you. So, like I said, to Coach Morrill credit, man, he had a system that was just unbreakable. And to this day, like dribble left, dribble right, Golden State pretty much perfected it. I mean, you can look at pretty much any plays in the league right now, they are running dribble left and dribble right. And like I said, Coach Morrill can't get the credit for inventing it, but he sure patented it.
He perfected it, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
When did you find out that the university would name the court in his honor?
I actually found out on Facebook, I believe. I found out on Facebook, And then I think his name Justin Henson, and then he reached out to me and was telling me about the renaming of the court and everything, and I was like, holy smokes, like that's a huge honor.
So, I was talking about the court and also just the Spectrum in general. Like, what are some of your favorite memories from playing in the Spectrum? Maybe your favorite games, moments, or whenever the crowd got the loudest for you guys. Just what key games do you look back on with fondness because of that atmosphere and that environment?
Oh man, shoot! My first year, the very first year, like I said, the beginning of the season, the crowd was kind of like, we don't know what's gonna happen. We got a brand new team. It was excitement, but then, like I said, after the tournament happened, and after we kind of went on those winning streaks, like we started going to 1, after like 6-0, then we started getting 10-0. Then it started getting crazy, but obviously, the BYU game the Utah game at home was crazy. Because anytime BYU and Utah State and anytime Utah State play, it's gonna be crazy. But like that saying, that whole first year was just, that year, I think that year we broke the I don't know if y'all remember, but the Spectrum had that blue light as we should anytime it got loud, the louder meter light. We broke that. Our year, we broke that. Because, every night we had 10,000 plus people at this. Like I said, it could have been a better home stadium in the freaking country better than Utah State. Because the crowd was right over you, number one. And then when you got over 10,000 plus people, you can't hear nothing. So, like I said, that whole winning streak, and then the one to go 13-0 to be able to beat BYU at home, to be able to go 13-0 before the tournament, go 16-0 before the tournament, that game was, oh my God, that game was probably the craziest, the loudest. It was so loud because Troy Rose, and I don't know if you guys know who Troy Rose is. Y'all know Troy Rose. But that game, I got a nice little steal, and the ball was going out of bounds, and I threw the ball up because I seen Troy Rose, because he knows if I'm going to steal it, I'm just going to throw it towards the opposite end, towards our basket. He ran and got the ball, and I don't remember what's his name, but I remember I seen one of his friends, like I want to say this had to be about 15 years old, and they still clowning him over this play. He had the nerve to stop and stand in front of the circle at the time. If we had a circle, I don't even know if we had a circle at the time. He had the nerve to stand there, and Troy Rose just took off and rose up, and he just popped it back and just dumped it in his face, and oh my gosh, if I could say the crowd went crazy, they went bananas.
That is awesome. There were there was a great roster that you were a part of. We loved the rock and roll. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense to say that. But Tony Brown, sharpshooter from outside, local talent. It was so fun. And that early period, as you said, a lot of new guys coming together and a relatively new coach here. And that's really kind of what we're seeing now with the team this year for Utah State. So what lessons did you learn there that maybe these guys could take into effect to maybe help them through their journey here at Utah State now?
Man, if the coach got something going on, buy into it. Because, like I said, I'm a New York kid, and even coming from New York, we ballers in New York, and we all about scoring, we all about ball hogging, we all about, we want to get our shine, we want to do this, we want to, it's about me. And for the first time in my life, I had to play team ball. Like, I could score 30, but then I had, 4 other people that could score 30. So it's just that we had to buy into what coach was presenting to us, and just believing in the system, and believing in the system that it works. If you can believe in the system that it works, then man, the sky's the limit. I haven't paid too much attention to them, but I have seen and heard about their record. And even though I am a little biased when it comes to tournament time. I'm always still rooting for Utah State, always. But in the back of my mind, it's always like, man, we still got the upper hand. We still the only team that ever won in the tournament. But, at the same time, I don't want to be selfish either. Rules records are made to be broken, and I would love for someone to finally Utah State to get a victory in the NCAA tournament, man. I would really love it, and hopefully, this could be the year.
So I've asked this of a few other players that we've had a chance to talk to. I just, want to get your best Stew Morrill story. Just funniest, best. Just the best story you got.
Okay, well, it wasn't a best story to me, but it was like it was kind of a situation that kind of happened between me and Coach. But like I said, Coach is a gentle giant, and like I say, I was a real hard-head, knucklehead kid. Even though I'm a sweetheart, I got a loving heart. So sometimes I could test the rules and break the rules here and there. And one time, man, and usually I'm in great shape. I'm usually in great shape, but like I said, that whole Utah area was something different for me in my first year, and I quit. I ain't gonna lie, I quit. I was running so much that my legs couldn't take it no more, and Coach had said something, and I had said something back, and he was like, "What'd you say?" I said, "You heard what I said," and then it just. Coach just say, no, just like, get out. He just kicked me out of practice. Like that's the funniest story I ever had. Coach, because it was like I was shocked, and everybody else was shocked because like Coach don't need to be mad, but that for some reason he got fed up and said, get out.
You got kicked out of practice. That's funny.
I got kicked out of practice. I did, man. I did.
So, Bernard, I know a lot of former players are returning to Logan this weekend to be there for the ceremony. Does that include you? Are you going to be able to make it to Logan?
You know what? I actually am coming. I would not miss this for the world. Like I said, Coach was an incredible man. He did a lot for a lot of young men. He's well deserved, and he's a winner. And for a person who won on that level and continue to win, it's tremendous. But so sometimes like I like to say, give me my flowers while I'm still here. So it's good to get recognized and for what your accomplishments while you're still alive, as opposed to when you're 6 feet under. So, I wouldn't miss this for the world, man. I am definitely coming. I'm so excited to be back in Logan. I'm excited to see the people. I'm excited to, just to see familiar faces. And, like I said, it's good to get, come back to a place where, you felt like you was on top of the world at one point in time. I'm like I said, just the simple fact of, being still holding the record of the team the only winner instead of you won't be forever recognized as something like that. So that's why I have to do my due diligence and show my respect and come back.
Last question before we let you go. What are you up to these days? Where are you at?
I'm in Carroll Stream, Illinois. I was going to say Chicago, Illinois, but, a lot of people don't know the city I live in, so I say Chicago because it's the closest city that most people know. But I've been living out here probably for the last, 11 years. I was working for UPS for the last 10 years, but then I ended up, getting hurt at work. I had to get back surgery, and then, my life kind of took a different turn into entrepreneurship. And it's kind of, I found the passion in that because it's more of my realm of being a competitive athlete. It's the same business structure. It's just now you're just using it, a different vehicle as opposed to, dribbling a basketball. I'm managing teams, and, I'm teaching, I'm educating people on how to make multiple streams of income. So, it's been a blessing. It's been a up and down road, but, like any journey in life, it's you learn from it, you keep going, and like being around Coach Morrill, I'm a winner, and winners win, and losers quit, and I ain't never been a quitter, so, that's where I'm at in life now, and hopefully I come out to Logan and, just help educate people out there on what's going on.
Well, Bernard, we wish you the most success and appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you and many of those other Aggie greats in town in Logan to celebrate and to honor and recognize Stew Morrill on Saturday.
Well, I definitely appreciate you guys for having me. This was definitely fun, and anytime I get a chance to talk about, the best 2 years of my life, it's an honor to go back and relive those memories. So I thank you guys, and keep up the great work you guys do. Aggies for life, man, and go Aggies.
There you go. Bernard Rock played for Utah State 99, 2000, and then 2000, 2001. Part of the team that broke through that no Aggie team has been able to do since and win in the NCAA tournament, and being in town this weekend to honor and recognize Stew Morrill.